Baker with Baker DMM. This is our video digest newsletter. Topic of today's newsletter is going to be how to screen for good financial help. And before I jump into our discussion, I'm going to read you a quote. Quote states, "The only mistake you can make is not asking for help." And that's by Sandeep Jauhar. He's a cardiologist at the Long Island Jewish Medical Center. Thought it was a great quote to segue into what we want to talk about. And that's really just being comfortable and confident and doing your due diligence and finding the right people to give you the help that you need regarding your financial world. And I know for me, I can relate because when I was in my 20s, I unfortunately, my mom was sick and she ended up getting cancer and ultimately passing away from her illness. And when she passed away, she left each of her children, an inheritance. And, it wasn't millions and millions of dollars, but it was a pretty substantial amount of money, particularly for someone in their mid-20s. And although I did do some good things with the money, I did do some bad things. And, one of them still makes me really upset to this day is that I actually knew a guy who was a financial advisor. And he really tried his best to reach out to me and just connect and say, hey, I know you're going through some things and I'm sorry to hear about your mom, but I know that you got this and you got that and I'd love to help you out. And I remember I actually went to his office and met with him and I didn't feel comfortable. And I was an accounting major in college, was studying at some point for the CPA exam and I still didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel confident about it and I didn't take him up on his advice. And I ended up doing some things on my own and unfortunately I made very poor decisions on my own and it cost me a lot of money. And, somewhere up above my mom's shaking her head at me and probably giving me a wink and smiling right now. But, I wish, I don't regret anything because I've learned from it and it's brought me to where I'm at now. But if there's ever a way to educate people, which is what we're doing here, it's just extremely important to get the right help from professionals that know their profession, that are licensed, educated, professional experts that are going to do and help you make the most and best of what you got. Because not that I'm in a terrible position now, but I could be even in a better position if I would have taken that advice. So, unfortunately at that time I wasn't open or available to it, but now, with this video, hopefully we're going to change that maybe for some of you out there. And, one of my more recent examples, which is non-financial related, but nonetheless could still be applied to when you're out there doing due diligence on trying to find a good provider, would be, actually got a life coach a couple years ago in 2015. In other words, a therapist, counselor, psychologist, whatever you want to call it. And I was at a point, professionally and personally, where I just needed an independent third party to come in and really be a sounding board and give me good constructive feedback and advice that wasn't from a friend, that wasn't from a family member, not a girlfriend, just someone that is going to listen and really engage with me and say, hey, that's good, or hey, that's bad, or hey, this is something to work on. And so what I did was I went to my insurance company and I think it was like a list of 50 different providers. And I went through that whole list and I think I emailed all 50 that I could. Contacted 50 and I think I probably heard back from like 25 of them, at least within a day or two. So then within that 25, I called all them. And then from that, and then most of them I don't think I ever connected with. I just got like a voicemail or a secretary or something. From that, I got about 10 more calls in return. So at this point, I've got 10 different people. I've contacted them. I reached back out to them and then actually had appointments with these people. And we chit-chatted for 10, 15 minutes, kind of screened each other. And from that, I really boiled it down to 2. So out of the 10, I found 2 that I felt like I clicked with and I really liked and that I engaged with. And from that 2, then I actually went and physically had appointments with them and actually went and met with them. And to be honest, when I got down to the 2, I liked both of the people a lot. And I could have gone either way, and I think it would have been a really good decision. But one of them took insurance and one of them didn't. And I ended up going with the one that took insurance. And, I'm still with that person. Here we are almost 3 years later. And I'm just really grateful and happy that I went through and took the time to properly kind of engage and vet and go through the process of finding somebody that I wanted to work with. Because ultimately the return has been much greater than just kind of close my eyes, point my finger at the book, and then just picking someone at random. So, that's one way to approach it. Uh, Another thing to pay attention to is really your instincts and your gut. More recently this summer, or I should say last summer in 2017, for our business, I was trying to go through and work with different vendors and trying to get some help with online, social media and search engine optimization stuff. And and these are areas that I am really not that educated in, and it's been kind of quite the learning curve for me to learn more about it. And I had interviewed, I think it was like on Yelp or maybe Thumbtack. And if you haven't heard of those, they're great tools. Those are other options, to help in your screening. And I would say typically Yelp would be, in my opinion, it's more like household things like, plumbers and heating and air and maid services. And I look kind of like at Thumbtack, like more of like a professional type services, maybe like, internet and computer type services. Nonetheless, both of them, you can investigate them. You might be able to find whatever you're looking for on them, but they're good tools. I've used them before. And in this particular case, I found some, website IT people through Thumbtack. And I went through, I think I got like 5 bids. I contacted them. And again, the same thing, just with the 5 people, I screened them. I ended up liking 2 of them. And I had a gut feeling about this one guy. He was pretty engaging and kind of it seemed a little bit, edgy. But a part of me said, well, he's kind of edgy, but at the same time, that could be good or it could be really bad. And one thing led to another, and it just didn't work out. And ultimately my gut was right. I was concerned. I was worried. I kind of ignored that feeling, and I said, well, that's one thing, but then he's got this, this, and this, when I really should have been paying attention to my gut, my instincts. And that was a lesson learned from me, is that you go through, you do your due diligence, you research these folks, and then you got to pay attention to that sixth sense, that gut, that inner feeling, because a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, that gut feeling is correct, and you should follow it and pay attention to it. And one other thing I've got here, actually, I've got a piece of collateral, one-pager that our company put together, and it's more geared towards 10 questions to ask when hiring a daily money manager. But I think by listening to these, you could actually also you could take these questions and apply them to really almost any service out there, or any person or company that you would like to try to engage with or hire to help you, really with your financial world, and then maybe other parts of your life too. But it's always good when you talk to someone, what types of services do you provide? If it's an insurance agent or a tax specialist or even an asset manager, what kind of services do you provide? What kind of products do you do? If it's tax, do you do individual taxes and business, or do you just do one or the other? How long have you been working as a daily money manager? How long have you been working as a tax accountant? How long have you been working as a financial planner? Just to see if how long they've been in business and what how many years they put into it. Maybe they're brand new. Maybe they've been in business 20 years. Maybe depending on your situation, you want someone that's more of a veteran, or maybe you're just starting out and maybe you'd connect better with someone else that's just starting out. What professional insurance do you have? I know, like at Baker DMM, we have business insurance. We've got professional liability, which is errors and omissions. I think we cover up to $1 million per instance per year of errors, and basically we serve our clients and we do wrong, we're covered up to $1 million. And I think in aggregate we're up to $2 million. And a lot of times if someone has insurance, whatever they are, and this could be for financial services, home contractors, anybody, they should have I think it's like a certificate of insurance. It's a one-pager, certifying that they do have in fact insurance for the time period they're working for you. Are there industry standards and code of ethics that the professional follows? Like for CPAs, we have the AICPA, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and they have a code of ethics that we follow. Are you willing to work with my financial advisor, accountant, or attorney? So within your financial world, you might have different financial professionals, and are they open and willing to connect with other folks? Maybe you're going to a financial services firm that has many different components to it. Maybe they do taxes, maybe they do insurance, maybe they invest. Obviously all those people are going to work together, but what if you go to them for taxes, but your assets are managed somewhere else? Would they still be willing to work with that other company? What are the costs? What are your billing methods? That's a super important question. I know, at Baker DMM, a lot of our clients, particularly our aging and our clients with impairment, when we work with them, that's going to be an ongoing service. So for those individuals, we typically charge them a flat fee. We engage with them, we understand what's going on, and then we give them a scope of services, or their family members or whoever their parties are involved, and we talk about it so they all know what exactly is going to be done, and then they know what they're going to be billed every month. In other cases, there's some people that say, hey, look, I just need your help for a couple hours. And that's fine. We can charge them an hourly fee. And like our company, our hourly fee is $100 an hour. If they want to book 30 minutes, it's $50. So you always want to do that and make sure you understand how they charge and how you're able to pay for the bill. Do you require and provide a contract? I mean, that's another big thing. Again, a lot more of your home services, I don't see that as much where you're getting contracts, but I think within your financial world, that's a reasonable request. Do you get an agreement, a letter of engagement? I know typically a lot of times with tax clients, that's pretty common. I know with our firm, with Daily Money Management Services, we do that with all of our clients. You get a letter of confidentiality, privacy confidentiality, letter of engagement. And that way everybody's on the same page and we all know where we stand and what exactly is going on. And then the last thing we have on here is, can you provide a reference list? Who have you worked with? Do you have any testimonials? Do you have anything online? I mean, just recently I was trying to find some help for my home, and Google is just incredible. We're trying to migrate our reviews onto Google, and it's a really powerful tool to be able to go there and do some search, do some research, and it's everybody. I mean, we're getting a bathtub refinish. I've even recently looked at doctors online and their Google reviews. So the power of the internet is that the more this stuff gets kind of connected, the more that the people that do good things, they're going to be complimented. The people that aren't doing good things, well, it's going to reflect on them. And then it's up to the consumer, which is what we're talking about here, to do your research, to put in the time and effort to go look through all this, to go to all these different review sites. And if you see that you're thinking about hiring someone and they've got 200 Google reviews in there and they've got 2 out of 5 stars, well, that might give you an indication of the service you're going to get. But if they have 50 reviews and they've got all 5 stars, well, that's pretty good. And I mean, never say never, but in all likelihood, you're probably going to be in pretty good shape, in working with them. So, hopefully with all these tips and everything we talked about, that'll help you in your financial world and maybe other parts of your world, and help you make better decisions and ultimately lead to a better financial position. So if you found this video or information interesting, feel free to share with your family or friends or whoever you think might benefit from viewing the video. If you ever have a question you'd like for me to answer, you can go to our website, www.bakerdmm.com. Scroll to the bottom, fill out your name and information, write a few sentences, and I'll try to answer your question with our upcoming video newsletters. And if you ever like to get my help personally, go to our website. At the top, you'll find our phone number as well as a request an appointment button. Or if you scroll to the bottom, you can book a phone consulting session at the PayPal button. And with all these options, I'll be in touch with you in 24 to 48 hours to confirm and schedule our appointment. Until then, I will talk to you all soon.